Recovery is unlimited. It's like, wait, there's more. I was thinking about early sobriety and thinking about health issues and separation from my family and unable to provide a safe space for my living. And I mean, just complete chaos. And the problems I was dealing with were like voices and my father killing himself. And it just piled on. And then you get sober and you're like, now what do I do? It's like good news if you're sitting in a treatment center or you're new in sobriety. The good news is that like the war is over. The chaos that was normal during that period of your life is no longer a thing. The bad news is that the war has just begun.
Welcome. This show empowers you to confront and overcome addiction with real stories, inspiration, and a host of resources. Our growing community supports, uplifts, and takes action to enable a new way of living. Now, F3 Recovery brings you the Super Sober Podcast. All right, welcome to Super Sober Podcast number 36. We are on and cracking here. Thanks for all the shout outs and the heartfelt, warm thanks for the last two podcasts. And we got our same two co-hosts. We're going to be doing part 3 on Holding On series here. 1, 2, and 3. Here we go. Super Sober Podcast number 36. Just want to let you know, I'm your host. My name is Brett C. I'm an RN with a BSN. My sobriety date is 4/21/03. I've been working in hospitals, helping people out with the aftermath of this unbelievable disease for over 20 years now. And we'll go to our co-hosts.
Mike G, sobriety date October 16th, 2022. Good to be here. Spend my days working with the nonprofit, helping people with disabilities find independence.
Hello, guys. Demetrius F, sobriety is 11/24/95. Just good to be here on the 3rd episode of Holding On. Currently a mortgage broker working with Owl Lending. It's my company.
Oh, right on. And then we're going to do, of course, the shout out to Solomon in the background here, the producer at the podcast place who's making all this happen. Heck yeah. Oh,
what is
there's
that?
Some crickets. What?
I thought it said cheers.
Oh, no. Cheers is right here, bro. There we go. Yeah, thanks, Solomon.
We'll get it right.
It's okay, bro. Just keep pushing buttons over here. Just feather that in whenever, you know what I mean? So that's okay, bro. Keep working it over there. Don't feel shy. You're going to get it right on the first time. You didn't get it right on the first time of recovery, I'll tell you that, bro.
That's a fact.
Thanks for sharing that. So, of course, we're going to be doing some shout-outs, as always, right here on some rad sobriety on the milestones. We got Ben T with 1 year. Bam! Saw him take a chip this morning. We got Johnny M with 4 years. Can't believe that, bro. 4 years, Johnny. Come on, man. And then we got Jacob 8, who took 4 years. 8 years. 8 years this morning. And then Janet M, our sister, the wife's BFF, with 18 years. Yes, thank you for all those ones.
Thank you.
Yeah. And anybody out there with just 1 day, 30, 60, 90 days, whatever it is, where you're at, we salute you. We applaud you. And just keep on keeping on for sure. So we're going to do episode 3 on the Hold On series here on SSP 36. And just know that all those people started their recovery before the Bermuda Triangle of recovery, which is Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's, right? And a little bit of Super Bowl and maybe a little bit of Halloween. Maybe it's kind of expanding past the Bermuda Triangle. Right. But yeah, they got sober, got through the holidays and toughed it out and making it through. So today, we're diving into something deeply personable and incredibly powerful, Holding On to Your Recovery, Part 3. We're talking about how to protect the progress you've made, how to stay grounded when the winds of temptation blow, and how to recognize the gifts recovery has already placed in your hands. Because of this new life, it's worth fighting for. That's why we're doing another episode on this topic. That's why we felt after we did 3 on letting go that we needed to do at least 3 on holding on. And we're holding on to the same co-host for 3 in a row. So thanks again. And we're going to be doing 4 different videos about that. And then we're going to be doing a new little skit towards the end, which is the second time, which was guided meditation with David Trotter that we did on last one. We're going to be feathering in some new skits and having fun to keep you guys engaged for a whole hour. Wow, in the day and age of mass distraction, here we are trying to pull it back. So the first one's going to be on celebrate progress, not perfection. Recovery is messy. What matters is that you keep choosing healing even when it's hard. This video is with Jessica M, and she was on podcast 30 and 31. And D was talking about the catchword for his life this year was alignment. And she's all about that. So if you want to go back and see her on 30 and 31, she's unbelievable. She's got working on year 6 in recovery, and she's able to break it down to make things super relatable. So can we go to that first one and we'll break that down? Thank you, Solomon.
One of the hardest parts for me when I first started learning about manifestation was when I would have a bad day or maybe even a bad week. I would be like, that's it. This means I'm not going to get what I want. I'm going to have to start all over. Nothing is happening for me. Nothing is falling in place for me. And I would spiral and go down this major rabbit hole. And what I've learned since then is it's not mutually exclusive. You can have a bad day, a bad experience, a bad week, and still be in alignment to get the life that you want. It's not that you're never going to have bad emotions. It's not that you're never going to have this human experience. It's that, are you willing to feel it, process it, move through it, and get back in alignment? So if you're having a bad day or you're having a bad week or you're going through something right now, it doesn't mean you're any further away from your reality dropping in. It doesn't mean you're ruining everything and your life is over. It just means you're having a human experience. You can simultaneously be on the right path and having a bad day. So don't quit, okay? Go through what you need to go through. Process what you need to process. Feel what you need to feel. Let it go. Jump back in alignment.
Thanks, Jessica. Shout out to you again, sister. And I know that's one of your videos. She's always posting just positivity and how to get back into alignment, what the process of spiritual disruption feels like when your first thing feels like everything's falling apart, but it's actually falling in place. And it's hard to get that discernment because everything just feels bad anyways. So until we get to that point, but I really like how she breaks everything down. And I find myself today, I'm upset, I'm frustrated, I'm mad at God. I go to a meeting this morning and then between all the clouds, the sun's coming through and I see a lot of my brothers and sisters there and I see God working in their life and I'm all, man, just showing off in people's lives. It's just unbelievable. So just had to let you know that if you're having a bad day, a week or a month, it doesn't mean that your recovery is not still moving forward and you're not still having a good life and you're not still in alignment. So can you stay in an attitude of gratitude when things aren't going your way? And a lot of people think once they get a certain amount of sobriety or a certain amount of what they would call God's grace or something, that they feel like it's a deprecating punishment from God that they're going through. It's like, what did I do wrong, God? Why did this happen? There's like, this just the human experience, like what Dee was talking about a couple of the podcasts before and what Jessica M was talking about too. So let's see what you guys think about that last video.
That was pretty awesome. I like how she was talking about if you're going through something and you're kind of reaching your goals and it's not working out, how you could be both at the same time. I don't know. I look at that it was purpose, right? Like I know before I got sober, I didn't really have a purpose. And I think what keeps you aligned is having a purpose, whether that be purpose for your family, purpose of whatever goals you got going on. But I think that kind of keeps you in line if you have a goal or a purpose in life. When I was drinking, I didn't have a purpose. I didn't even know why I was on the planet. You know what I mean? And then I get sober. I'm like, oh, okay. And these days it's my kid or in certain goals. But I mean, let's face it, I get impatient and things are not going my way. And I'm going through some of those things. And a lot of times I just got to slow down and forge through, right? Regardless, even if it's uncomfortable. And I've had some years of doing that, but I can relate with her, right? It doesn't mean that everything's crumbling down if it's not all happening at once. It just means that it's going to be hard. And a lot of times I look at what everybody else is going through, right? You look at a lot of stuff that's going on in this world and there's a lot to be grateful for. When I see a lot of stuff that's just happening in other places, I'm like, oh, okay, well, you don't have it so bad. That's what kind of keeps me grounded a lot.
Yeah, it's kind of like what they say, like if everybody put their problems in the middle of the table, you'd grab yours back real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I never heard that one.
Oh, no? You haven't heard that one? Yeah. Put all your problems in the middle of the table. You'll be fastly grabbing them back, considering of what your unique problems are. So,
Yeah, I like the video. I wanted to address Brett calling us the same old hosts.
Did I call you a same old host?
We got the same old. I take offense to that.
I didn't even
Because
realize I did that.
as the video was speaking about, I mean, I'm not even the same as the last time I was here because I'm going through shit, because I'm growing through shit, because I'm trudging forward and developing character through all the mess that is the net result of choices I've made in the past. Thank God for it. That's where I find the most growth. I don't like it. When I'm helping other people, it's so easy for me to see God's developing your character. It's so good to see. But I don't feel that way about my own stuff. I'm impatient, right? And even when I don't get what I want when I want it, I'm still developing patience. So, I mean, that's the whole thing about this whole sobriety thing is like, it's going to teach you a lot more than a one-trick pony. You're going to have to grow, continually grow, and growing can be painful. And it means that you're going to have to throw out your old conceptions and ideas and everything you thought you knew. You're going to get a new experience with something different. And all of us here, I've got the least amount of time, but I'm watching these two big hitters, and they're still growing through stuff. They're still going through things, and they're still in what they consider uncharted territory, as I am too. So I don't know if that ever changes if you plan on continually progressing through this program or in life in general. So yeah, it was a good video. I appreciate it. Yeah.
Yeah, I like how she just always brings it back to like how we're celebrating the progress, not the perfection.
That's right.
And she, if you go back to episode 30 with her on it, just her trajectory into year 6 of recovery, and so many people with their trajectory in early time recovery, what we would call people are just killing it. And then we've been talking about it a lot, and it's like the end outcome of what's going on is really not like our business. It's about what's going through it. So how could I process what I'm going through any differently than how I'm processing it right now with my past experience at this certain age? And how I perceive life now is definitely not how I would go at it 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15, and even back to 20 years ago. It's just so different of how I apply this program and how it keeps growing with me and where I'm at with it though. So, I mean, we're all at a meeting this morning together and just got to hear some people just getting super vulnerable, and Mike being able to speak to it.
Yeah,
and
that was awesome.
And so many people want so much back, but are you becoming the person that when so much comes back, whatever it is, when it comes back, that they'll be proud to be a part of who you have become? It's a race, kind of. It was for me, that I became the person that my son or my family, and that I'm still that person today. When the son or the kid calls or someone in the family, that I'm able to at least be there to help. And it's not always perfect, but at least they know that the phone's on, the number hasn't changed, and that I have the ability to help.
Yeah. I think too, like when she was talking about having bad days, life is difficult. I mean, at the end of the day, I heard her loud and clear. Life is difficult and it gets hard. And I don't really think it matters how much time you have.
No.
I'm going through stuff now, and I'm like, well, how could you be going through this at this time right now? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
And you'll talk to people, and they're like, oh, well, you should have did this or you should have did that. But life doesn't have it doesn't work that way. But I think for me, that just acknowledging that life is difficult. It's not, I don't think it was never meant to be a smooth road anyway. And I don't think you get like Mike was talking about character and what you're talking about growing. I just think you got to go through it because that's how we get to where we are, right? It's not going to be an easy road. If that was the case, I don't think no one would be doing this, right? If you would have told me that I would have all these things happening before sobriety, I'd be like, well, no, thank you.
Yeah. And I think like when you first come in, I could speak for myself that the difficulty with getting sober early on is that you're habitually, when things are uncomfortable and feel overwhelming, you're just pulling the pin on the grenade and blowing up your whole life and ending up in an institution of some kind, being like, yeah, I don't know what happened. And the reality is, like, some days when I'm trudging through a day of recovery and I'm going to work and I talk to my kids and things are going on, sometimes the best I did was not pull the pin and save myself for the next day where I can do a little better.
Right.
So when you talk about that little progress, I mean, it is progress, not pulling the pin, not taking a drink or not getting loaded for that one day, hitting the pillow and being like, all right, it wasn't the best showing, but tomorrow's a new day.
On the pulling the pin there, Solomon, can you hit the boom on that?
Now
You could have cricketed it. You could have
Oh,
put
yeah.
a crickets.
Yeah, there we go.
There you
bro.
There we go.
Yeah, I had that.
You know
there. I
that
thought there
sound.
was a specific boom. After even 36 podcasts, I'm still working on the little push
Yeah.
button thing we got here, though. So feel free, Solomon, to feather those in, especially when Mike's pulling the pin on the grenade, though. But don't worry, I would have jumped on top of it and saved the old co-host.
That's right.
All right.
The new
Yeah, the new old co-host. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? You guys just feel right in the seats. So how about that? So, I mean, shout out to all the co-hosts and everybody that's just flipping, giving the killer information for us to chew on. And then we're going to be going to our next topic right here. And of course, we've been just feathering in Father Martin. Shout out to the big dog over there and his whole platform on the East Coast and carrying on his spirit and his education, which I'm so grateful for. And this one's going to be a little bit of topic on not suffering your guilt. So let's go to that second video.
You know what the alcoholic and the drug addict is now asked to do? It's not to wipe that out, that's there. It's to resolve the guilt of the past because you cannot live with guilt sober. Dr. Bob proved this in the very beginnings of AA. He and Bill got together. They started this thing unconsciously. And he went on a medical seminar or something in Atlantic City, and he drank. And he realized that he could not stay sober until he cleaned up his past, because he said it's impossible to look at it through sober eyes and be able to stand it. And this is why, my friends, right after steps 1, 2, and 3, this comes right away. He did that. He took a moral inventory of his life. He admitted to God, himself, and another human being, and he was able to go on.
Yeah, we're not waiting to get you going on getting rid of the guilt. So a little bit of notes on that process. So many people come in and they feel like they can't live their best life, or they're on the pink cloud. And then sometimes on that pink cloud, their past comes up and then they're like, man, I don't deserve to be this happy for all the damage and the wreckage that happened, or where my kids are in foster care, or wherever the process is. Just know that suffering over the past doesn't make it better. Not allowing yourself to be happy because of others' suffering doesn't help either. Don't give yourself a block of time for perceived deprecation. It's a trap, guys. It's a trap. So it's a negative feedback loop. You're putting your defeat on repeat. Just know when you're taking even the first day, you know how many people that should be in recovery that aren't? How many people that were in recovery that aren't anymore? How many people that wish they had the chance to be back in recovery that aren't even alive anymore? It's unbelievable. I've been working in treatment for over 11 years now. Imagine that, as in November 3rd of this year. And people are so sad, so broken. And I go, you know what? I hit them with that. And I go, you know what? You better take this as a win. This is a win. I know it doesn't feel like it. And I know you're on the weight of the world on your mind and you're in detox and you have so much going on, but you know how many people that need to be here that aren't here? And it kind of hits them.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, man. And I go, why don't you just let it all go for a day? Just a day, maybe even a moment, and let us take care of you. Can you do that? Just let me take care of you. Let me do my job. Let this whole place do their job, wherever treatment center you're at or whatever, and then just let them do their job. And sometimes it works for a couple minutes. No, sometimes for the whole day. It's irrefutable logic and truth, though, these days. So I love Father Martin. Of course, like I said that like 1,000 different times, but I love how he breaks it down. And then we don't wait to start unloading some of that guilt. We can't wait, because you can't look at your life sober and then not go through this process if you have a lot of shame, guilt, doubt, anger, fear, jealousy, all that. So yeah, thanks, Father Martin, once again.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I was listening to the clip, I remember early on in recovery, the truth is that there is some level of guilt that's very appropriate.
True. Yeah.
In fact, if there was no guilt, you might be considered a psychopath. Sociopath, yeah. I mean, if you're separated from your family, for example, it's very appropriate to feel some level of guilt. I have learned early on, and someone explained it to me, that there is a difference between guilt and shame. That guilt was I've made a mistake, and shame was I am one. So I came in thinking I was a mistake and I needed to be wiped off the planet. And the truth is, the process of the 12 steps was, I think you said the timer's on. Like, it's like I have this ill feeling inside me and I've got to lose it before I lose it. I've got to give it up before I give up. Right. And so the time is on, the time is ticking right when you get sober and you're welling up with emotions that have been bottled up for a long period of time. And I would just highly recommend that you don't do that alone and that you do that with another man or another person. And you follow a process that seems to be working for people that have habitually and systematically destroyed their lives.
Yeah. That's a pretty interesting deal with guilt. You have, it's almost like that this topic. I have a buddy of mine, Wilson, he's an older guy. And we always talk about the human condition and we always reference when, I'm kind of going on a tangent here, but you know,
Tangent it up. Let's go.
it's like when Adam and Eve ate from this tree. And supposedly the parable goes that God was walking through the Garden of Eden and Adam was hiding behind a tree. And he's like, well, why are you hiding? And he's like, oh, because you were there. And before that, he wasn't doing that, right? He was just, he had no premonition of shame or guilt or nothing. And God's like, well, where are you? And he's hiding. That's the first example of guilt or shame, right? And this deal here kind of goes with not just people in recovery. I think this is a human condition deal like you guys are talking about. This is something where you're in your car, you're going to work, you put on the facade, and no one knows what you're going through your day. You don't talk to nobody about it. You're not discussing nothing. And through recovery, we get this little tool that they have in the steps where you can write it down, your fears, resentments, your sex inventory, your secrets, and you can tell it to someone else and get rid of that. When in actuality, it's an old thing, but what a gift, right? What a gift. So many people, and I'm not just trying to say that we have the lock on this, but man, so many people need someone to talk to or somebody to, those secrets will kill you.
Yeah.
It'll kill you. There's just people that I know that are just suffering because they feel that there's no one to talk to. And it's pretty serious, to be honest with you. It can get very serious. You know what I mean? This is one of the things that I've did inventories over my time of sobriety. And I really like, it's not to the point that I like it like I'm a psychopath, but I do like it when, okay, Demetrius, it's time to go in your room and put the pen to paper and find out what that is and then talk to someone and get that out. Because I know on the other side of that, I get an awareness or an awakening. Go, oh, Demetrius, it's happening now, right? At 30 years sobriety, it's happening now. Like, I'm like, oh, this is something. I was sharing it this morning. I'm coming on new stuff of who I am. I don't know who I am. And not who I am like I'm lost. I'm trying to find out, who is Demetrius? Who is he really? And so that's kind of the next chapter that I'm doing, which is going to consist of more of what Father Martin's talking about. Sorry if I went too long, but
You didn't go too long.
I love this part.
I think, doing a mini 4-step. After you get through the 4-step, people demonize and talk about the ghosts of their past and everything. Don't worry about it. You're going to keep those ghosts alive and they're going to drag the chains all across your future.
That's a fact.
And it's never going to go away until you face it. And then once you face it, you'll see that it was just the boogeyman. Right? You face all your demons down and all that, man, and they're not that scared.
There's only one thing worse than not facing your demons. Or there's only one thing worse than facing your demons. That's not facing your demons.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for sure. But you're not alone in doing it, though.
That's right.
It's like people have demonized so much of the process, but just know that our society is not really that conducive for mental health.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, that's for sure. If you find yourself disillusioned and scared, afraid, don't worry. They spend a lot of money on that. We've been talking about a lot of that. That is there. And then you guys keep feeding it too. So they say where your focus goes, energy flows. And just know that you are the energy that they are distracting with the weapons of mass distraction. It frustrates me to think that all of our greatest technologies of humanity is used to sell you an Amazon link real quick. It's like, that's where our greatest technology is, so they can sell you something, which is helpful sometimes. I don't even have to be saying it out loud, and Amazon will be thinking about what I'm thinking about to sell me something.
Yeah.
Well, how convenient is that?
Yeah, you got your own algorithm.
Yay.
But you can change that algorithm.
Yes,
in
that's what we're
recovery,
talking
that's
about.
that is what we're doing. We're changing our own algorithm. What pops up on your screen when you're trying to think differently and behave differently and have different results and outcomes from what you've always had.
Right, exactly. Changing the algorithm. That's why they call it the program. We're changing your program of life, and then you can keep switching it, and then you get the new pathways. We've been shouting out a big person. If you haven't heard about him, we've been talking about is Joe Dispenza, one of our favorite guys, talking about how the brain works, and it's unbelievable information going out there. But we're going to be going into our commercial break. If anybody needs any help, you just call this number. It's 877-345-4138. And that number again is 877-345-4138. That's His House New Creation. They have treatment centers all over SoCal. If you need any help with anything, I hear people posting a lot on social media and stuff. Do you guys know any good places to go to, or any place that takes Medi-Cal or whatever? They take it all. They've been serving the community for over 30 years. It's safe. It helped save my life, many other people. They're growing platform of helping people, and they don't push anybody away. So if you know anybody that needs help, don't get an analysis paralysis of how many different places to go. Call the number, reach out. They will help, period. And we'll be right back.
At Embrace Life Change, your journey to mental wellness begins in a place where understanding meets action, where care is personalized and recovery is achievable. With over 30 years of experience, our expert team offers a range of evidence-based treatments tailored to each individual's needs. From anxiety and depression to complex psychiatric disorders, our comprehensive approach includes cognitive behavioral therapy, mindfulness practices, and innovative programs designed for deep healing. Our small treatment groups ensure personalized care, fostering stronger connections, and a supportive community that empowers your recovery journey. Hear from those who've embraced change and found hope, healing, and a path to a better life with us. Embrace Life Change is more than a treatment center. It is a place where lasting change begins. If you or someone you love is seeking help, call us first. Let's take that first step together towards a brighter future. Embrace Light Change, nurturing mental health, where hope and healing meet.
Yeah, and special shout out after the commercial there. We just renewed our sponsorship for another year of podcasts. So thank you, Glenn and His House New Creation. It's going to be another year forward, another 24 podcasts. Yes, can you believe it? So we're super excited and kind of terrified at the same time. But this is our second renewal of the contract. And we'd like to thank Solomon for making it all possible too, and having the place and working with us and giving us extra time and grace. So we're super excited, and we're just going to keep on keeping on. So the next of this on the third and fourth quarter of SSP 36 is we're going to be cranking out a few more videos, and we're going to be doing a new little ending skit right here, which is called The Devil's Advocate, or The Disease's Advocate. So you guys just hold on. We're going to be getting to that one. So the next video is going to be the 10 gifts from recovery that I'm grateful for today. We know there's a lot of work, and we keep on talking about all that, but just know very fast, very quickly, that the gifts are going to come. And a lot of the gifts aren't always material, but those will come too. And that's why we want you to get through it really quick, so you at least have the skills to navigate your new life with all the gifts, right? So let's go to this next video.
5 years of sobriety has brought me. Number 1, self-respect. Number 2, self-love. 3, compassion. Number 4, forgiveness. Number 5, my integrity. Number 6, deeper connections with the relationships in my life. Number 7, bringing my passion and my life purpose into alignment powerfully. Number 8, a deeper sense of community. Number 9, vulnerability and the ability to receive love. And number 10, everything, my whole life. I gave up one thing to get everything. Have a beautiful day.
Yeah, she's a great lady. She has a small but little powerful platform. I think her name is Nasiri Sue, HSU. You can see her stuff on YouTube too. And 5 years of recovery, all those gifts. If you don't think those are gifts, when you can give yourself a little place of grace. So do the work, or the gifts may be perceived as a curse. So we've been shouting that out a lot. And sobriety brings clarity, connection, and purpose. Let those gifts anchor you when doubt creeps in. And doing a quick little gratitude list on those first 10 right there. A lot of forgiveness. I had to forgive myself. This run with my son, I got and stayed sober this time. He was 8. And we started in this apartment over here in OC. I lived in sober living for 2 years, and I saved up and squirreled as much money as I could. And we moved in, and it was one small bed, a chair, and a small TV. One of those ones, that was it. You know what I mean? And and we started there. Started super messy, and I'm so glad we did it. And I was the last time I was so tired of starting over. I've started over so many times in my life, and I don't want to ever have to go through that again. So I keep a lot of all what she just said, right? The gratefulness in my heart moving forward. So I'm embracing the gifts. I mean, I don't have to go through most of my day doing the work. I've done so much work on myself. When do you stop making it? It's not like really work for me. It's just a part of who I am and the next indicated step. So most of the time we'll see that in early recovery, it doesn't, you can get all those gifts super fast. So what do you think there, Mike?
Yeah, I mean, recovery is unlimited. It's like, wait, there's more. And as she was talking, I was thinking about early sobriety and thinking about health issues and separation from my family and unable to provide a safe space for my living. And I mean, just complete chaos. And the problems I was dealing with were like voices and my father killing himself. And it just piled on. And then you get sober and you're like, now what do I do? It's like good news if you're sitting in a treatment center or you're new in sobriety. The good news is that like the war is over and the chaos that was normal during that period of your life is no longer a thing. The bad news is that the war has just begun, right? You're entering into a new world and the rules and standards are a lot different. You're going to have to learn to live and enjoy life successfully. And while that seems pretty simple and straightforward, lest you forget you have alcoholism, not alcoholism. Yeah. It is alive and well and wants you to give up. And as we do the series on letting go and holding on and knowing when to hold on and when to let go, and it could be confusing. And I would just say, and I think I said it in the last little clip, but don't do it alone. I can't do it alone. I couldn't do it alone. And I don't think in the near future, I'll be able to do it alone. Mm-hmm. I need your guys' help, and that's okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this was awesome. Her 10 points of gratitude. I mean, I don't know. It's just amazing, right? I mean, I'm not going to sugarcoat this part. I mean, it's like sobriety is just amazing. I think the awareness, you guys, is just what's incredible. Like what you don't know. I always say it's painful when you act like something and you don't know. Yeah. It's so painful. But getting sober, I was able to start going in different directions and different books and different things and just information and communication with my peers that I had no idea was even there. And that's a fact. whether it's in my business or just with people or understanding myself, I just didn't know. I'm like, man, this is crazy. You mean to tell me like there's all this out there with being sober and I can do these things? Because when I was drinking, dude, I was like, I didn't know what was going on. You know what I mean? I had no clue. And now it's just like what she was saying, the loving yourself, and you can just reach for things. And I think the best is when I'm just with August and we're just at the mall or just
And that's
having
your son,
food.
right?
Yeah,
August,
my
yeah.
son. And I'm just looking across from him and he's just like, Dad, I'm just chilling. And sometimes while he's eating, I'm just looking at August. I'm just like, I'm present here with my boy. It's probably the single most best thing on the face of this earth, that I'm present, I'm there, he loves me, I love him, we're best friends, and I'm able to participate. It's just crazy. Like, that's amazing. And the other thing is that you can do. Before I was hopeless, not wanting to create. That's another thing, being creative. It's like, oh, wow, you mean I get to create? Because a lot of times drinking, you know how it stifles you? I remember I could never get up the gumption to do anything. It was always negative energy. It was always like, well, I can't do that, or I can't do this, or I didn't go to college, or it was on and on. And these days I'm like, bring it.
Yeah.
And I'm still a work in progress, right? And I've had some successes in Alcoholics Anonymous and some failures that I thought were failures that have been successes. And I want more of that, you know what I mean? And now I want it with my peers and people that I love. And I just want to, one of the meditations I do now is just love and energy. I just want to spread love and energy to everybody's around me and just grow with everybody. And sometimes it gets me in trouble, you know what I mean? Because that's what I'm on today, you know what I mean? And I love what she said, you know what I mean? Especially the self-love. I'm in that phase right now, you know what I mean? And I love it. If you guys are new out there or whatever, there's a whole box of goodies. Like Mike said, it requires some work, but if you get past a certain place, you can start creating the life that you want, being who you want, acting like who you want, and just being your whole self. And that does happen. That does happen. I'm not even going to sugarcoat that. It happens.
Yeah, you're the creator.
Yes, that's a fact.
So you
Brad.
get the coping tools to do it. You
Like
want to
you
be
said.
a sober person? Do what sober people do.
Yeah.
You want to be successful? Do what successful people do. They're going to tell you, though, that's not going to be easy.
Yeah.
That these are the trying times. I'll tell you that, right?
Yeah.
These times are so trying.
That's
I've been
a fact.
hearing that since I was a kid. And then that you have to work extremely hard, to get the financials and all the gifts. And it's going to take a lot of time to do that. And it's like, no, sorry. All the people, right, these days out there, if you look around our society over here in SoCal, I don't know about the rest of it. I can only speak to our surrounding environment. They're building everywhere. I mean, they are pumping money everywhere. And we see the rise of the most successful, rich people ever in our society. And it keeps on, they're topping it off every time since I was a kid, right? Yeah. I come from a white middle-class family. And then I had to break a lot of those generational processes, how I'm trying to break with my own abundance and where I want to be. So I've been going through a lot of growing pains and breaking that part of who I am. And it's like, look around, guys. I mean, these days you can get some stuff going on. And we especially had a lot of people on this podcast that have just been applying these coping skills to their life. Wow. And you don't have to be in recovery to apply these coping skills. And it's like our son he's going to meetings with us for many years until he's able to stay home by himself. But he's just like, you know what? They don't have what you and mom have. These people don't have, they're just like out there just blowing in the wind. I deal with them all the time. And then I think about what you and mom have on the program and this connection and people to unload onto and or take the load off of or whatever it is. We were talking about the weight of people's crosses before the podcast. And man, your cross is your weight and that's enough. So
I've been on this weird kick recently that like, is it really that much harder or am I just that much more entitled? I mean, did my grandparents, did they have to grind it out? Yeah, they did. Yeah. Let's not compare their grind to my grind.
Stuff.
Or how about your ancestors? I mean, what have we been through? And now we're in 2025 going, it's really difficult. And when I'm helping new people and trying to encourage them to put it all on the cart, I mean, leave it all on the court each and every day, I realize that it's going to take a whole lot more. It's going to take everything I have and a whole lot of what I don't have in order to get through this life successfully. And you know what? If you're not wounded, worn out, or exhausted by the end of the day, I'd question your effort. I mean, everyone's out there hustling. Everyone's out there trying to get their stuff together, and it's difficult, but it's not more difficult than other countries, other cultures.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyways,
I want to just add what Mike's saying too about like not doing it by yourself. If you guys out there are new or fairly new, get yourself a tribe. Get yourself a tribe that's a positive tribe. If you're with a bunch of people and they're not on that sobriety goal, you got to shake those people. Get yourself a positive tribe that's wanting to do better, because there's something to be said in the energy around you. And if you have a lot of negative energy and it's hard to fight it. So see if you can kind of carve your own tribe, so to speak, that takes you down the path you're looking to go. It's really important because we don't do it alone. And Mike and Brett's been and Mike's been just huge in my life. Mike and Ben, it's just been just a tribe. It's important.
Heck yeah, dude. Vibe with that tribe. You start vibing and your tribe will show up. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over the 12 promises real quick. She broke down like 10 of them really quick. So just know by the time you get to step 9, these are the promises that will happen in your life as a guaranteed result of you pressing into your new life. How quick can you go through the first 9 steps? I don't know. Get with your sponsor. Even though there's 12 months, there's 12 steps. Get it cracking in 9 months. By the time you're full term with your new baby of sobriety, or whatever metaphor you want, here's some of the promises. We're going to do a couple 2 minutes of it. And this is they read the promises all the time in like almost every meeting, but we're going to do it with you while you're driving or just really quick.
If we are painstaking about this phase of our development, we will be amazed before we are halfway through. We are going to know a new freedom and a new happiness. We will not regret the past nor wish to shut the door on it. We will comprehend the word serenity, and we will know peace. No matter how far down the scale we have gone, we will see how our experience can benefit others. The feeling of uselessness and self-pity will disappear. We will lose interest in selfish things and gain interest in our fellows. Self-seeking will slip away. Our whole attitude and outlook upon life will change. Fear of people and of economic insecurity will leave us. We will intuitively know how to handle situations which used to baffle us. We will suddenly realize that God is doing for us what we could not do for ourselves. Are these extravagant promises? We think not. They are being fulfilled among us, sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly. They will always materialize if we work for them.
And as they say, work, right? And Mike just broke it down right there. Maybe you're not putting enough effort into your life, into your shitty life. So, oh my gosh. So, yeah, we're going to be going into it really quick. Also, we went over the 12 promises of AA. That was awesome. And Solomon, what do you think about going into the meditation minute? Another new episode process that we can go into.
Let's do it.
Hi, my name's David here at Behind the Lids, and I want to invite you to experience a moment of meditation with me. If you're in a safe place, I'm going to invite you to go ahead and close your eyes, and we're going to take a little journey behind the lids. And so as we close our eyes, we're going to take a deep breath in through our nose and exhale it through our mouth, making an audible sound, allowing that vibration to flow through our body. Let's go ahead and do that together. In through the nose, out through the mouth. And in this moment, I invite you to go ahead in your mind's eye to see yourself walking up to the most expansive view you've ever seen in your life. Perhaps it's the Grand Canyon, or you're on top of a mountain. You're seeing the view all the way to the right and all the way to the left. Beautiful blue skies, clouds flowing above you. And you feel the peace of being able to see your life from a high above, not worried about the details of the things that might be dragging you down in this moment. But with this expansive view, you feel an overwhelming sense of peace coming upon your body. And in that moment, you also recognize that there is some extra weight that you've been carrying. Perhaps it's a backpack that you feel weighing down your shoulders, and you begin to remove it. As you stand looking at this expansive view, you open the pack. And inside, you're surprised to see these large rocks that feel like the weight of your resentments, anger, worries, frustrations, failures, anxieties, and fears. And in this moment, you may want to lift one out of the pack and courageously release it and allow it to float out into the distance, far beyond where you can see. One by one, pulling them out of the pack, releasing them into the expansive view to be gone. And so as you release those heavy encumbrances, those things that have been weighing you down that no longer serve you, feel a lightness of this moment. Feel the lightness, feel the peace of seeing your life from a bird's eye view and knowing that you are loved, you are whole, you are complete, just as you are. One more big deep breath into the nose, exhaling this time. And slowly opening your eyes. Please know that you can experience this moment of meditation and peace anytime and anywhere.
Thanks, David, for breaking it down there real quick. And then we'll go from all that peacefulness right into a new skit right here. We all know that we're going to have a few lightning round questions for the guests here, that connection is key. But what do you say when you're in recovery? So a lot of people that I sponsor are new in recovery, or if you're going to guide someone or be a mentor or sponsor, right? In recovery, you come with these simple things for people to practice and do a new life, but it seems like the devil or the disease is always playing its own advocate. So lean on your people is one of the things on holding onto your recovery. Isolation is dangerous. Stay connected to those who support your recovery. But what do you say when one of your sponsees, Mike, goes, I don't like going to meetings. All they do is complain about their problems and talk about drugs and alcohol.
I would say alcoholics treat loneliness with isolation.
Yeah.
The truth is, people who don't go to meetings don't get to find out what happens to people who don't go to meetings until they come back to meetings. And
Great one.
it's kind of a choose your own adventure. The reality is that Alcoholics Anonymous is a participation sport. It requires your participation. It is a team sport. You can't do it alone, and it is going to require your effort. And I never encourage people to go find their own conscience. I guess I probably should. But I mean, for most of us, we land into Alcoholics Anonymous broken, mindless, spineless, heartless, and somewhat soulless. And Alcoholics Anonymous starts to resuscitate us over a period of time. And people getting better get better with people getting better. So
Right.
if you want to get better, join us. And the last thing I'd say is, like, there's this line in the big book. It's like, we had but two alternatives. One, to go on to the bitter end, blotting out your intolerable situation as best you can. Or two, to accept some kind of spiritual help. alcoholics are the only people that like have to think about it.
Yeah,
Like,
dude, for
do
sure.
I want to go back to where I came from, or do I want to like live a different way? And, yeah. Anyways.
Yeah, that was great. Chew on that one. We're giving you some tidbits right here. All right. What about D here? Help someone else is another way we're going to come at you right off the bat in recovery. Service reminds you of your strength and keeps you rooted in gratitude. But I've helped so many people and they took advantage of me, D. I don't have the time to help anybody right now. I can barely even help myself. What should I do, D?
That is just, for me, it's just a bunch of complaining. It's like Dr. Bob says that we do it because we want to and then a sense of duty, right? Yeah. And it's just one of those things of like, that's like the cornerstone of my sobriety. Yeah. I mean, I'm not here because I don't do that. That's just what we do to get ourselves and help another alcoholic, right? And it's like, I don't know that if I'm sponsoring that person, I'm like, you need to get a commitment and we need to figure something out because you're missing the whole preface of why we get sober. We're not getting sober so that you can get a new car or a wife and some dollars. We're here to get sober so we can help another person get their spiritual experience. And a lot of people, I think, miss that. You're not here for the gift of sobriety so you can go off in the tulips and don't give it back. It just doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
And it's been my experience that people who don't do that don't stay around here. And I'm forever grateful that I've got that gift of sobriety. So and to be honest with you, I won't tolerate a person like that for too long. If that selfishness comes out too much, and Mike's helped me see that this year a lot. That's why I look, but he could have, Mike, as far as I'm concerned, could have answered all of these because he's just a beast with this. But and he has a lot more to deal with this than me. But if I find that you're not being grateful enough and you don't want to help nobody and you're not doing the speaker meetings or panels or whatever you're doing or driving to someone that takes them through the steps or whatever, and you get that complaining going on, I can't have you. I can't mess with that. That's just me though. That may be harsh, but I can't. That's the whole cornerstone of our deal here. Yeah. You get what I mean? And you do that a lot, Brett, right? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get totally. That's why I kind of went in with this for this antagonist, protagonist kind of skit right there, because a lot of we hear it all the time. I hear it all the time. And so how about another one right here? Speak your truth. Don't keep bottling up your struggles. Share them with someone safe. Vulnerability is strength. And being vulnerable also allows you to feel all of those things. They say what you resist will persist. Your perception is your reception. If you want a better, bigger experience, then open up your perception because you're the one keeping it out. So, but you know what? I don't want to be vulnerable. I've been sharing my problems and they keep telling me to call my sponsor, and I'm not sharing my issues with any strangers. What do you think, Mike?
Well, I mean, that's your right? But, you know,
right on to the bitter end.
As we were talking about the 12-step promises, the promises are started out by saying, if we are painstaking about this phase of our development, and that's basically inferring that we're going through a painstaking process.
Yes.
Like if you're going through this painstaking process, then you'll be amazed before you're halfway through. Yep. And it doesn't say if you're not going through this painstaking process, right? Because you can't get the goods without doing the deed, right? At the end of the day, this process is meant to expel all these deep, dark-seated crannies of the past that are blocking you off from the sunlight of the spirit. Yeah. And you get somebody who wants to keep everything to themselves. I mean, they're going to have to tell tell the dog, tell a therapist, tell a policeman that pulls you over. But whatever, you don't hold it in until anesthesia sounds really good again. And this has been tested and true by legions of alcoholics. We've all tried to hold on to our old ideas and the result was nil. And thank God we finally came to a place where like telling the truth and being vulnerable and being honest with another man was finally finally a better option than the one we'd been living.
See, bam, right there. There you go. A little bit of tidbits for all those in early recovery or those that sponsor now that struggle to come up with something to overcome the objection. It's not about overcoming objections. We know that this is a program of attraction rather than promotion. So we hope we've been attracted and attractive. Just look at us on this video if you haven't seen us on YouTube. But we're done with SSP number 36, the third part series of Holding On. And we're going to do some shout outs here really quick. We're on all platforms. If you want to reach us, you want to email us at info@f3recovery.org or info@supersoberpodcast.org. You can just reach us out. We can be seen on any platform. We're on social medias, Instagram, Facebook. You can go to the universal platform that takes you on Buzzsprout. It'll take you to every kind of podcast listening platform. Shout out to The Detox, the story of addiction, the deadliest disease that man has ever known. And that's a series that I wrote, trying to sell that or get someone to get it out into Hollywood. And shout out to Solomon over here at the podcast place. Yes, see, Mike's hitting it in right there.
Right.
Bam.
That's right, Solomon.
Let's go.
Locked in.
And so Mike's getting used to the sound effects over here. And man, if you guys, thanks for lately people have just been coming up and saying thank you for doing the podcast. Yeah. And my challenge for you guys is to take a minute, listen to the meditation minute, maybe even lock in with Behind the Lids. You want to shake off your nervous system in an expedited way, do a sound bath, guided meditation, breath work. There's so many places. Behind the Lids with David Trotter and Mandy down there. It's unbelievable to go down there and do it in a group place. On our platform, on the resources, you can go into f3recovery.org and see a lot of the places you need LMFTs, therapists, people with their own platform. Shout out to Sarah M. with the Veterans Breath Guide. She does guided meditations and help the veterans also too. You can get to that link. And man, I want to give a special shout out, man. It's been an awesome 3-part series on Holding On with Mike G and Demetrius F here. And thanks again, Solomon, for breaking it down. And as always, keep on keeping on.
Thank you for listening to the Super Sober Podcast. Go to our website at f3recovery.org. That's F3Recovery, all one word, .org. We're turning fight, flight, and freeze into free form and flow through practicing the 12 steps and staying accountable to change. Don't forget to keep on keeping on.